Welcome to Chamber Exchange. My name is Tim Murray, President and CEO of the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. And Chamber Exchange is an opportunity for us to bring on guests who are creating jobs and economic development here in the region. The show happens because of Bank Hometown. We want to thank them as our sponsor. And I'm really thrilled to have somebody that we've had the privilege to work with the Chamber for a number of years now, Ryan Canuel, who is the CEO and founder of Petricore. Ryan, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Ryan, your story and the creation of Petricore is really all about a startup, small business development, and a company that's growing in a really innovative field. So maybe you could start off just by telling our viewers, what is Petricore?
Sure. So Petricore, we're a game and software development company. We're here in Worcester. And we're focused currently on mixed and augmented reality gaming and kind of this future of spatial computing and what that means and how people are going to play games in that space.
And this business and your presence, coming to Worcester was really kind of born out of some of the academic sectors or academic majors that we're lucky to have here in Worcester. Previously Becker College, and WPI collectively and individually were known nationally for their video and digital gaming programs, and you were part of that at Becker.
Yep, yeah, we were, and I got the privilege to go and be an adjunct at Becker for a little bit before the program transitioned over to Clark now, and we're still involved with them.
And so that program that was at Becker, the Mass Digi program, went to WPI. A number of the academic programs went over to Clark University, who just opened up a new center, which is really probably conducive to growing and expanding the presence of companies in your space and hopefully employees for you.
Yeah, we've had numerous interns. We hired an employee last year that came out of the Clark program, so we still like to stay local. Right.
So you said video digital gaming. You added to that a little bit. So for a viewer who might not be super familiar with that, gaming, just because you could get into kind of the specifics and everything that's involved in developing a game that somebody might download from an app or utilize.
Yeah, so a lot of what we're doing currently is kind of based around there's these new devices like the Apple Vision Pro that was announced, and then Meta has a number of these devices like the Quest virtual reality headsets. So they have a capability with mixed reality, and what that is really just taking the real world as it exists and overlaying digital content on it. So what we're doing is trying to build a game focused around how do we build something that interacts with the real world as it exists, wearing one of these devices. So we've been fortunate that we've gotten support from Meta to help kind of build this game out over the next year. And so a lot of the teams focus now on that, and it's kind of a collaboration between artists and programmers and business side of it in terms of all kind of coming together and making a game. And so the company that you started in 2015, that's grown, and now you're working with companies like Meta. That's pretty significant in 8-9 years. Yeah, we over the last probably 2 years or so roughly kind of doubled in size from where we were at. And where we just posted, actually, we're hiring an artist now to help work on this project. So it's an exciting space. There's a lot of risk involved because it's still new, but we feel like it's a big opportunity. Yeah, and how many employees? So we're going to be up to 11. 11, right? Yeah. And to the point where you recently expanded your location over at the Worcester Business Center? We are. We're at the Worcester Business Center. We got a nice larger space. And for people in the Wayback Machine on Millbrook Street in the old Tom McCann building. Yeah. I hear that. My parents were like, "Oh, Tom McCann's" when we went there. I'm too young to remember that, but well, I'm not. So, and the game has got a name, right? It does. So the game's called Mythic Realms. We actually launched a free demo already. We've had really great reception to it. It's got a great rating on the Meta store, which is kind of an important part of how they evaluate how games are doing. We've had several thousand people play this demo, and we really just kind of put it out because we've been building this demo over the last year, and we wanted to test it and see what do people actually do because it's such a new kind of game. So we've been happy with the response we've seen, and it helped kind of propel us to get further support from them to focus on building it further. Right. And so as you've started this company, I want to talk to the Startup Worcester program. You're also involved with
with the Clark, the Mass Digital and Video Game Institute. You've grown the company. How do you see this kind of sector, unique sector of the economy growing here in Central Mass? Just through your own experience with Petricore and just as you look around and look at the landscape.
Yeah, I think just for when we started and looking at all the schools and universities and programs, there's a tremendous amount of talent still that comes out of the programs at Clark and WPI, and some of the other schools even have programming and software development specialties, art specialties. And so I think this is such a great location still to be in terms of just an amazing talent pipeline for the type of projects that we want to build. And so couple that with Mass Digi and just a lot of the game development activity that's also happening over in Boston. There's a number of really large companies that have set up there. And it's very easy for us to work with them and bring some of those opportunities here.
Right. And the Mass Digi, Becker programs, but you also were part of the Chamber's Startup Worcester program.
Yep. Yeah, and we're that was how we were able to get our footing when we were first starting. We were able to get a lot of support locally to help out. And I've been fortunate this year. I was able to come back and be a mentor for one of the Startup Worcester teams. So it's been nice, kind of now almost 9 years on from when we were in that program, to kind of look at it from the perspective of being, they came in and saw our office and were like, wow, this is impressive. I was like, oh, I remember when I was in your shoes not that long ago.
Yeah, and that's important, right? Because it kind of helps fuel that vision and kind of reinforce that this is possible. And one thing about the Startup Worcester program that the Chamber helps run is we work with a whole bunch of other groups and organizations to kind of bring that support to a cohort of entrepreneurs who have an idea to start a business.
Yeah.
You mentioned on the demo on Meta, the game Mythic Realms. People want to get in touch or kind of follow you. How do they do that?
Yeah. So the best way to get in touch with us is through our website. It's just petricoregames.com, and if you go on there, you can find there's a contact form. And so, like I mentioned, we're hiring an artist currently. We do a lot of work with different brands and building kind of software around the mixed and augmented reality space and games. So that's also where, if anyone's interested in that, they can definitely reach out.
Right. And you've had games. I think it's you mentioned Mythic Realms, but you've had several other games that have been pretty successful.
Yeah.
So this isn't your first rodeo, I guess.
No, we've got a bunch of other games that we've launched. A bunch of them are still live and people can go and play them. So you can go and we've got a list of all of them on the website that if anyone's interested in our historical back catalog, they can go and play some of the games that we've already worked on. Right,
and that's on the petricoregames.com.
Yep.
And also Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn?
We're on all of them.
On all of those, right, okay. Ryan, we got a minute left. As you kind of think about where you were in that cohort startup and now 9 years later, 11 employees, growing, relationships with companies like Meta, where do you see the company 10 years from now?
Yeah, so our goal is we really want to be one of the premier game development studios in this realm of augmented reality and spatial computing. It's such an interesting and new space, and I think there's a lot of opportunity where it's this really new business market that people are still trying to figure out, well, what is a game in this and how does it work? And so we saw an opportunity where we can be one of the people who's helping figure out what that is. And so our core goal right now is really being one of the premier companies in that space.
Yeah. Well, it's been great to see, and congratulations for your leadership and your hard work and the team that you built.
Thank you.
All right. Ryan, CEO, Canuel CEO and founder of Petricore. Go on petricoregames.com. Come right back. We're going to talk a little bit about healthcare. Stay with us.
These days, you've got your hands full in life. That's why we help you bank simply and securely with tools like Face ID and Touch ID. It's why we make it easy to make purchases on the go and get cash back while you're at it. Why we help you quickly deposit checks wherever you are. And it's why we lend a hand with sending and receiving money right from your phone. So even when you're on the move, you can manage your finances. Bank Hometown. Unlock your potential.